I love doing last times because I seriously don't fucking remember at all what we talked about.
It's the one where you heard Bulma in Japanese and you were like, oh, she's...
Oh, that's right. And I did the intro in a
different
Russian
language. Yeah.
I'm not going to do it that way this time.
Okay.
I think it's a one-off. It's
Going back to the old English.
The old screaming English. Last time on Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z, we went over episodes. I don't even remember the number of the episodes. Goku actually fought Frieza for the first time, and it was kind of interesting, but it wasn't really what we were looking for, yet it entertained us, and that brings us to now. This time on Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z.
That was better than Russian.
That was pretty tame compared to the other ones, I guess.
It's ebbed and flowed.
I'm not going to have to cut anything out of it, probably. That's all I could ask for.
Welcome to Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z. I'm Spencer.
I'm John.
And today we're going to be reviewing episodes 91 through 95 of Dragon Ball Z. It's going to be a rootin' tootin' good time, so I hope you're ready for it.
It's going to be one of those things.
Yeah, just one of those words, one of the three. We'll jump right in with episode 91. The American title is Embodiment of Fire. Japanese title is Showdown, the embodiment of flame in a 20 times Kaioken Kamehameha.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Because they don't say that.
I know.
Until
I know.
We'll get there. My title for this episode is Round 5, Goku versus Frieza at like 50% power or something. I don't know.
It starts with Goku and Frieza fighting some more. It turns out
that shouldn't make me laugh.
That
That's
sentence,
where we're at
it's
now?
it's the most used sentence of this entire podcast. Goku and Frieza fight some more appears a lot in my notes over the last 15 episodes. So it starts there. What I thought that everybody was dumb, which isn't necessarily untrue, but everybody kind of forgot that Bulma is Ginyu because that was the big reveal in last episode.
Oh my, that bothered me so much.
There's a reason though, and I didn't catch on until about 5 minutes into the episode. Usually what happens in Dragon Ball Z is they'll say a line or have some semblance of a cliffhanger. The episode ends, episode starts, and they redo the last 30 seconds with new lines, but in the same spirit, the same stuff happens. This is like the most extensive redo that they've ever done. It lasts a long time.
Yeah.
Like midway through Bulma showing up as Ginyu, all the way to everybody finding out that it's Ginyu in Bulma's body.
Which it made it extra fucking confusing.
It was very confusing because I literally just came off of the last episode. I just went right into the next one, and I thought everybody was just dumb and had forgotten.
Yeah. And they occasionally, I think I can think of one other time in the Vegeta Comes to Earth and Ruins Things saga that they did this, but it wasn't this extensive. It wasn't a complete rewrite of that event.
So I'm both excited and disappointed at this next part because I can't remember if I said it last episode, but I'm pretty sure I did. I was like, man, it would be so cool if Ginyu and Bulma's body actually had to fight Piccolo, Krillin, and Gohan while the fight with Goku and Frieza was going on, because that would give stakes and purpose to the side story while Goku and Frieza can draw out their fight, because we know it's going to be a long time before that fight comes to a conclusion. At least we'll get some kind of fight with some kind of beginning, middle, and end to keep us satisfied while we're waiting on this big fight. But true to form, Ginyu is just in Bulma's body, and Bulma is just a human who's never trained before in her life. So she poses no threat to Krillin, Piccolo, and Gohan, who basically win the fight instantly.
Without fighting.
Without fighting at all.
Ginyu in Bulma's body, do they do a flip? I think they do like a big old flip in the last episode, and that's what I'm thinking of.
What do
the
you
episode
mean?
Prior to this.
Like
they do like a backflip.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then
It's
land
like,
and then do the pose.
Then
thing.
the pose, yeah. So you see Bulma posing as Ginyu. Yeah.
Ginyu in Bulma's body starts punching the hell out of Krillin, but not like a normal punching the hell where the fists are actually causing damage. It's like a slap fight punching the hell.
Yeah, it's like she has two bean bags where her hands should be, and it's just kind of quit it.
That's exactly what Krillin says. What are you doing, Bulma? They still haven't figured it out somehow.
Yeah.
And it's only until Gohan looks down and sees Bulma in the frog, very effectively portrays a sassy Bulma as a frog.
Does pretty well. I would have just drew in the dirt, but she does a good thing too, I guess, by dancing around and like miming. And anyway, so Gohan catches on. Ginyu gets the genius idea, which he should have done while he had their trust, idiots, and decides to try to steal Piccolo's body. That would have been also very cool if they had to fight Piccolo as a villain, even though Piccolo was a good guy. Does that make sense? Like, that would have been really cool. Like, a really cool...
It would have been a neat parallel. It also would have been a neat parallel if Ginyu and Bulma's body had some kind of fighting power, even if it wasn't that big.
They spend the whole series writing lines to retcon shit to make things happen. Why not here in, like, something that could make Bulma cool? Like,
for the first time in a long time.
Since they landed on Namek, make Bulma have a cool moment. Please.
And it would have been a nice parallel that Goku is the hero of the story and fighting a villain who is way stronger. On the other side, our heroes are way stronger than the villain who's a little bit weaker.
Yeah.
And they have to use, like, it would have been another nice parallel. But no, I've come to decide, I've come to realize, rather, that anytime I can draw a narrative parallel that would be cool and or unique before it happens, it's not going to happen. They're just not going to do it. And it's the same thing we ran into before.
Ginyu Bulma decides to try to take Piccolo's body. He does the change maneuver. The beam comes out. Gohan chucks the same exact frog that he got tricked into last time right in the path. And Ginyu's back in frog body and Bulma's back in Bulma body. The fight with Goku and Frieza escalates. And a blast kind of makes its way toward the crowd, this crowd, and the force of it blasts Bulma and Frog into the distance. Right. Everybody else is fine. They get thrown away and are never seen again for the remainder of these episodes, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Just only once, but they're gone. That blast took them out of the story. It was so strong that it removed them from the plot. And Frieza, there's a moment where Frieza, you see a cut of Frieza while Goku and Frieza are fighting. There's a cut where Frieza smirks as they're powering up this blast. And Frieza's been saying, look, I'm playing around with you, Goku. I'm just letting you know that I'm going to absolutely wipe the floor with you when I really try. And so the smirk is saying, here's a little bit of really trying. And this blast that Frieza creates carves the planet in half.
I love that he says, I'm going to cut the planet in half, like right after he said he agreed to Goku's deal of not hurting the planet. I'm pretty sure it was last episode.
It was. Leave the planet out of this. Okay.
And then he cuts it in half.
They are following a pattern of not at all following through with the shit that they say they're doing.
Yeah. He's a villain. He's a bad guy.
That too. But it bothers me so much because there are moments where it seems like there's some kind of integrity there that Frieza has.
Yeah.
That they're going to actually, okay, maybe this is a villain that's super powerful, but they have like some modicum of
some kind of code.
Something. But no. So they carve the planet in half, and Goku realizes at that moment, oh, I'm fucked. There's nothing that I could do to stand up to this person. It demoralizes Goku. And that moment actually felt kind of interesting for the first time in a while. So far, it's just been Goku and Frieza playing around. Frieza being like, oh, you're the first fighter in a long time that can actually stand up to me. Whoa, my final form. And Goku's like, I'm so powerful. And then this moment happens after 5 episodes of them playing around on the playground. And Frieza gets off the playground and pulls up a machine gun, is like, okay, let's get real. And Goku has a squirt gun and looks at the squirt gun and goes, oh.
Yeah, and this is his speech, right? He makes basically a speech about, he's good and Frieza's bad. And so even though he knows that he can't necessarily win, he's going to stay in the fight.
I'm not going to give up. Even though I know you're way more powerful than me, I'm not going to give up. And then Frieza drowns him.
Frieza just lays into Goku. You think that the speech is going to come with a really cool moment of him finding inner strength and pulling off some kind of crazy move, but Frieza kills him
right then and there. And if Goku was any other character, they would just be dead now.
Yeah.
But because they're the hero of the story, they are allowed to get a second wind, which they have by having a nightmare, which was awesome. My favorite part of the episode is Goku's nightmare that he has.
It's pretty good
because it cuts to every single character in the show and all the characters that he cares about saying little lines, calling out his name, Chi-Chi, Goku, and you hear Goku's voice calling out for Chi-Chi, and then his son Gohan calling out for his dad. And then the nightmare ends with just a face shot of every character that we've seen and a little laughter bit from all of them, smiling and laughing, including Frieza. Frieza's the first face that appears and laughs.
It weirded me out.
And then it cuts through. I kind of loved it because it spoke to me, sort of, on this weird, like, I thought Frieza's face was going to keep appearing in the shuffle of faces. And it really does shuffle through every character, the turtle, Corin, everyone. And they all get a moment where they laugh and they're smiling and all of their faces are in the exact same place. And then it ends with Goku getting mad and powering up.
And then he does a massive Kamehameha. It pretty much does nothing. Like, you don't know it at the time, but the title would seem to indicate that this is a 20 times KO Man. Oh, Jesus.
I like KO Man.
It seems to indicate it would be a 20 times KO Man Kamehameha, but he doesn't actually say it. At no point does he say Kaioken times 20, which is what I was really, really waiting for and very excited for, but it's not here. It's in the video games. I know it exists in the video games.
Look, one of the things that Dragon Ball Z is really good at, and not just Dragon Ball Z, Rurouni Kenshin and Yu Yu Hakusho, I'm pulling anime and manga out of the deepest recesses of my preteendom. They're really good about naming attacks and having that specific attack, be cool. And they don't do it here. And it's one of the cooler attacks that we've had. And he doesn't say anything. He just does it.
And then Frieza's fine. And then the episode ends.
Yes, that's it. And then the episode ends. And then Frieza's fine and the episode ends.
Episode 92. The American title is Trump Card. The Japanese title is A Super Huge Genki Dama. I'm playing my last card.
My title is Round 6. Goku versus the Ghost Saiyans or something. I don't know. It's not really explained.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what you're talking about. I must have purged it from my memory. This episode opens, correct me if I'm wrong, with Krillin freaking out that Goku's attack did nothing. And he seems to know that it was a 20 times Kaioken.
This is how we know it's a 20 times Kaioken.
And I'm thinking like maybe there was a dub thing that didn't get added in the English version, because why would Krillin know? It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Krillin is thankfully the Siri reading the script.
The Siri?
Like Apple's Siri. Just the text to the speech to text. What am I saying? The text to speech that reads us the script. That's what Krillin is, thankfully.
Okay. Otherwise, we'd have no idea.
Otherwise, it would just look like a really strong Kamehameha that he didn't even say Kamehameha for.
So disappointing.
Yeah. Yes.
My next note is more Bulma stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay, I remember this now. So Bulma is knocked away, far away. Who knows how far, because nobody knows how big Planet Namek is, really. Bulma picks up Ginyu and like chastises Ginyu as the frog.
Yes,
like,
that's right.
How could you do this again or something? Now you know why. I don't remember what she says because I purged her lines of dialogue from my memory.
Goku and Frieza fight some more.
Yes, Goku gets just smashed after the failed times 20. That's not even, I'm going to call it the Phantom move, because like, we don't even know what it was.
He doesn't say it.
And after Goku gets smashed in the gut, he coughs up a little phlegm on Frieza's face.
Frieza gets so mad.
And it makes Frieza so angry, which is weird because Frieza has shown nothing but joy in drinking other people's bodily fluids so far.
He licks blood at least twice that we know of.
Yeah, so I don't know why. How would Frieza know the difference between human phlegm and human blood? This could have just been...
care?
Yeah. This could have been...
Maybe it's like Mountain Dew blood. Code Zero and Mountain Dew Livewire. Like
that's right. It's like...
both still good.
The red blood is the less tasty blood because it's irony. Phlegm, on the other hand, is it's like right from the sow's teat.
Yeah, and you can only get it certain times of the year.
Frieza doesn't know what they're missing. After this blasting that Goku then gets a thorough thrashing. It's not even a Goku and Frieza fight.
He almost dies.
Yeah, Frieza again annihilates Goku.
Yeah,
Goku hits the ground, and we have another nightmare question mark.
Yeah, it's weird. He remembers the conversation that Vegeta and him had before Vegeta died, but Goku mouths along with part of the conversation in real life. It's not him thinking back because his mouth is moving. He's actually saying the words. It's really strange.
Yeah, it doesn't, I don't know. And so, okay, So here's the scene. Goku's on the ground, head to the side, speaking. He must have a severe head injury.
That one got him.
That one got him. He's got a strong jaw. He's got a really strong jaw, but not that strong. It's not Frieza strong. So now he's out and he's speaking in tongues, and he's imagining Vegeta naked in space.
Yeah. Like first he appears shirtless, like Mufasa in The Lion King.
Yeah. Wait.
In
hold
space.
On. No, time out. Mufasa.
Yeah. Mufasa was shirtless when he appeared.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You're right. You're right. I don't know why I had to. Anyway, moving on.
But then it shows him in another shot turned around and he's just naked. Yeah. Like Goku's just thinking about Vegeta naked. I can't remember if he has a halo over his head because I'm trying to figure out if this is real or if it really is just Goku thinking back on Vegeta.
It can't be real. It can't be real because after that, the speech that Vegeta is giving is about Saiyan pride. He's trying to awaken Goku's Saiyan pride. You're the very last of the Saiyan race, and then other Saiyans that Goku has never met just start appearing in this dream. And then Goku starts having flashbacks to things that he has never experienced, like the death of his father, like the death of Vegeta. Is this your case for
why this is fake or why this is real?
Yeah, I don't.
I mean, if he's seeing things that he's never seen before, but actually canonically have happened, I could see a case for this being real. Unfortunately, there's no context or reason for this to be happening.
Yeah,
like they don't even shoehorn King Kai in here to try to make it make sense. It just happens.
And also, Vegeta sounds like Tassadar from StarCraft. I just want to put that in there. The voice modulator that they threw on Vegeta was real awkward. Oh, and Vegeta keeps shifting shapes. Vegeta goes to being like a little kid version. And
yes, he does.
To being the Uzuru is what it's called. Is that what it's called? The giant ape form?
Yes, yeah. It's so weird. It's so weird.
I get what they're going for there, but it just weird. I know that we describe things as weird very often. Very often. It might be our most commonly used word next to the word like.
Yeah.
In the middle of our sentences.
I usually use that word when I have an emotional reaction to a piece of the show that I can't put into words.
Yeah, and there are a lot of English words that we've used to describe this show so far. we don't have, like, both of us have read at least one book is what I'm saying. And
together at least one book, yeah.
Together at least a fridge magnet has been read. And we can't come up with the proper words to describe our feelings on these things. It's just weird. And this one, it's just weird.
Yeah, it feels like it's going for something artsy and sort of higher level, almost
out of the range that Toriyama is capable of.
Yes. Yeah. Symbolic and like a introspect kind of thing. But it's
because we're not Saiyans, so we don't understand.
We don't understand.
This.
Yeah. We don't think on their level.
Yeah. We don't necessarily understand racial pride in that direction of we were born on a planet that now is extinct and blah, blah, blah. So we just don't get it.
I'm willing to take that. Anyway, it works. Goku gets up and Goku and Frieza fight some more.
Third wind.
Frieza does a similar move that he did to Piccolo earlier, where he just blasts and like paper cuts a lot.
Ooh, death beams. I love the death beams.
But he does it to Goku this time. He doesn't say it though.
But that's what they are.
Then the weirdest thing maybe in the entire saga happens, and it doesn't make any sense.
I'm curious to know how you felt about it.
I have multiple feelings about it. So it cuts to King Kai's planet, and it's Tien and Yamcha and Chaozu and King Kai, and they're just chilling. And then like, wait, somebody's here. And they turn around and it's the Ginyu Force. It's all four of the Ginyu Force, and they're back, and they all have halos above their heads.
Ginyu's still a frog.
It doesn't make any sense.
Nope, it doesn't. But
I know.
It's a Gohan's monkey tail moment.
Yes, it is.
Which
it absolutely is.
Very much appreciated that there is some explanation.
There's even a little bit of an explanation.
But at this moment, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't understand how they even have bodies at this point, because that's supposed to be like a really big deal when somebody gets to keep their body when they get to the afterlife.
That's right. Yeah, you have to be either an incredibly good person or influential or something, or you have to be an incredibly evil, awful being, like the absolute bottom tier, but then you just go straight to hell.
Right, exactly. And I don't really feel like the Ginyu Force hits that level of requirement in either direction.
Nuh-uh.
The Gohan's monkey tail can explain a little bit of this, but I still think that piece seems a little fishy.
it's the only cut to King Kai's planet that I've given a shit about for the past 20 or so episodes.
I mean, kudos to them for that, like actually doing something that makes me care about what's going on King Kai's planet. I think I mentioned it earlier, but it's like the one thing that they do that is not just recapping all the stuff that you saw for the past 10 minutes.
Yeah. There's A plot, which is the Frieza fight. B plot, which is the kids and what they're doing. C plot, Bulma. D plot, recap squad. And finally, recap squad gets pushed up to C plot.
Yeah, they get something to do. The Ginyu Force is back in dead form, and Yamcha and Tien and Chaozu, who did not fight them before, and haven't fought since the Saiyan saga, might actually get to fight. That was very exciting.
Yeah, yes. Which, if you think in terms of power scaling, they're outmatched. Like there's no...
They should be, but they've also been training with King Kai for the last...
You're right. Exactly that long. So we do cut back to Goku after the Ginyu Force is introduced on their planet, on King Kai's planet. We cut back to Goku, who's decided, okay, I've got one more thing that I can do because Frieza's just too goddamn strong. And he starts the first quarter of the YMCA dance.
Yeah, he does the spirit bomb pose, and he looks ridiculous. And the first thought that occurred to me was, there's nothing left on this planet.
Yeah.
Frieza cut it in half. All the Namekians are dead. Like, there's 4 people that you could use for energy. Mm-hmm. And I actually really appreciate that Gohan mentions it outright. But I don't know. I guess it's fine. He's just like, oh, I'm going to grab...
no, it's not. Oh, my God. Go ahead and say what he says. Where does he get the energy, Spencer? Where does Goku summon the energy from this dead planet? He can't get it from the dead planet. Where does he get it?
It's the star power. He's going to get it from the solar system.
He draws the energy from the surrounding planets and stars.
Planets in the solar system. He's going to get it from other walks of life. What?
This cuts me because... As you know, I'm writing a 42-part encyclopedia-esque novel series on ki energy.
Yeah.
And how it works. If you can draw ki energy from stars, why would you not just always be doing that?
Well,
would that also not give you the opportunity to create such an unfathomable amount of energy that it is indestructible and undefeatable?
No. And the reason is because we see why later. Clearly, the spirit bomb that Goku's generating is ki energy, but it is not unlimited. It also takes time to charge up, and it doesn't mean it's going to 100% be effective against an enemy.
So here's another question that I have. I have a subsection footnote here. Okay, ki energy. So, okay, Genki Dama is health energy ball.
Sure.
Is he stealing the health from stars?
No, he's not stealing. They're giving it willingly.
So, okay. So
because he's a good guy.
Are these stars cutting their lifespans in half? How does this energy work? That's just the real question. How does energy work?
Yeah, they shouldn't have said star because life energy, I think, is more distinctive, and it sets limits and boundaries. The star doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does show shots of various planets and alien life and energy coming off of through them toward planet Namek. So it's not entirely unfounded, and it mostly goes along with what the name of the move is, but the specific mention of the star is kind of mind-boggling. There's no life on stars. It is energy, but there's no life.
If King Kai had taught Goku the ability to communicate with other forms of life, like plants or whatever, like he tried to talk to that tiger in the very beginning, if there was a weird payoff there where he taught him how to communicate using some sort of ki telepathy with other spirits, and then Goku communicated with a sun, and the star was like, I am ancient, I have existed for millennia, I've witnessed civilizations birthed and died.
I want you to say out loud right now that you would prefer a talking ancient star to be in Dragon Ball Z.
I would prefer a talking, preferably, really, I would prefer a talking ancient star that had a beard on it.
Like you saw that and you wouldn't just immediately turn off the show and never come back.
No. I think that there's a tipping point. I think there's a tipping point of insanity where my suspension of disbelief goes so far that it snaps and I have to accept what's happening. This is the problem, is Dragon Ball Z exists on this weird elastic springboard that never quite snaps because it always tries to draw you back to reality and ground you in things. Mr. Popo is going to take Bulma to go find the spaceship. All the other people in the hospital look out and they see this floating magic carpet. There's always this attempt to ground things in normalcy. Yeah. There are reporters and people living their lives. But then there's also you're sucking the health out of stars to make a bomb. And so that's where I'm like, just go all the way and give this fucking star a name and children in a beard so I can snap that springboard and be like, okay, I get it now because I don't have to think.
I think that's what keeps drawing me back into this show is that constant balance between absolute absurdity and grounded reality. And Namek Saga is unfortunate because it really spends a lot of its time in the absurdity end of the spectrum, I feel like. There has been surprisingly stuff that I forgot from when I was a kid that kind of brings it back down, like the Dr. Briefs cutaways and things like that.
Yeah, yes.
That kind of grounds the character moments. But like, I think that if they were to answer everything or leave everything absolutely unanswered, either way, I wouldn't be as into the show as I am. But there's like a fascination, like an obsession of trying to figure it out, crack the code that keeps me coming back.
Same, the exact same feeling on it. It's like a roguelike game where I need to know if there's like a perfect build or like there's a perfect way to do things, and there's not. It's going to keep you in that like back and forth. That's what makes it good. So you keep coming back. Same thing with the show. Anyway, so he's summoning energy now, and Frieza just lets him fucking do it.
Frieza thinks it's cute.
That's right.
And then the episode ends with a pretty cool shot of Piccolo and Krillin looking at the spirit bomb, and it's like super high up in the air. It's this really cool landscape shot of the bomb being generated.
Yeah, you know what? I did notice art really good. All 5 of these episodes, the art is on point. I did notice Sean Schimmel's voice acting in the beginning kind of stood out as like, ugh. But then
it's almost great, and then it's getting steadily better as these episodes go on.
It's like there's a noticeable improvement. There's a crescendo of believability in his voice throughout all 5 of these episodes specifically.
Episode 93, the American title is Keep the Chance Alive. The Japanese title is Keep the Chance Alive, Piccolo's Suicide Support Strike.
Whoa, that's what it is. My episode title is Round 7, Goku versus Frieza's Instinct to Play with Their Food, Part 1.
This episode starts with another montage of energy. It's being gathered. It's really quiet, and it kind of bounces between a bunch of stuff. I kind of dug it. It was a nice way to open the episode. And again, Frieza's just sort of cool with it. The thing is, I didn't realize this at first, but he doesn't actually see the spirit bomb yet.
That's right.
He looks at Goku's pose. He's like, is he taking a break?
Is he taking a break? Yeah. Oh, that was good. Frieza can't sense energy at all.
Correct.
So, and the spirit
that has
bomb
been established
in like the stratosphere or the ionosphere. Actually, this is way up there. It's way up in the air.
So you see energy coming from different animals, like billions of different animals, crabs, and then it cuts to Guru and Dende, who are both dead, and somehow energy comes up off them too.
That's right. That was odd. I was like, does that mean they're actually not dead?
No, they're definitely dead.
Well, then how come we didn't see all the other piles of dead Namekians?
It doesn't make any sense. Bulma keeps talking to Ginyu Frog. This kind of annoyed me a little bit because A, she's talking to friggin' the frog, just kill it. And B, they are not helping. They're not like invested in the energy gathering part, even though Goku is somehow communicated to all of the life in all of the solar system. Bulma and Ginyu don't know what the hell's going on and have no relevance to this part. It would be kind of cool to be like, for Bulma to be like, get him, Goku, and gives some energy. Just something.
I was tempted to turn on the subtitles again, but I was washing dishes while watching this and my hands were wet. So I gave up. I just accepted this is what Bulma says.
If I had a nickel for every time wet hands stopped me from doing something, I'd have like $1.
Wow.
Nickel's not a lot of money, dude.
But that's 20 times.
Yeah.
You have wet hands very often.
I do the dishes a lot. Take a shower every morning.
I take a shower every morning. You know what?
That's a hygiene humble brag right there.
The hot water in my apartment didn't work until today. So,
ooh,
that is actually a true story. That is
nothing
real.
like a freaking cold shower. Have you ever done the shower beer thing?
The shower beer. I've done bathroom wine.
Oh, bathroom wine sounds nice.
What's the shower beer thing?
Apparently, if you have, I guess the same as eating an orange. If you eat an orange or drink a beer in the shower, apparently it's like super refreshing and just like extra good. I don't understand how that works.
What?
And I've never tried it because I have a thing about having food in the bathroom, but like apparently it's awesome.
I've done shower chicken.
Excuse me?
Okay, so let me start with bathroom wine. Bathroom wine was, I had nothing else alcoholic. It was a Friday night and I was alone in my apartment. And this is gross. So, if you have children in the room, maybe don't have them listen. I was going number 2.
Oh, come on.
And I was drinking straight out of the bottle of wine.
Oh, cut this. Bleep it. Something.
It was, I don't know why, but so much more fun than it has any reason to be.
Don't try that at home.
Do. Recommended. Shower chicken, on the other hand, I was really hungry and I really wanted to take a shower. And the only thing I had to eat was a chicken leg. Shower chicken is the stupidest idea because it's oily and greasy and it doesn't get off with water.
Yeah.
And I also had just run out of all of my other soap except a bar.
Did you confuse the two?
No. That would have been a way better ending to the story. But no, I tried to eat. And then after you're done eating chicken,
the bone,
what do you do with the bone? You want to leave it on the side of the shower? No, because it's gross. You want to reach out of the shower and throw it out? No, because it's cold out there. You want to stay warm. So I just took the rest of my shower with the fucking chicken leg in my hand.
I hate so much about both of those stories.
Anyway, the Ginyu Force. Hard turn. Back to King Kai's planet.
Wait, hang on. There's some stuff. Oh yeah, okay. So I just wanted to mention the nice bit of continuity with Frieza not being able to detect Goku's energy. There's some kind of montage with young Krillin and Goku that was kind of funny.
Oh yeah.
The big one that I wanted to say is Krillin does advanced calculus in his head because somehow he's able to determine that because the ball is 50 meters in diameter, he must be drawing energy from other planets.
Yeah, he just pulls that out.
Not only does he know that all of that is possible, but he knows the size of the ball that has to be versus the size of the ball that it would be if it was drawing energy from other planets.
Like I said, he is just the text-to-speech for the script of the show, which is fine because at least somebody is.
It cuts back to King Kai right then.
So now we're on King Kai's planet with the Ginyu Force. They start showing off their poses. Oh, we're the Ginyu Force, blah, 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 blah.
I did write down, Rikum sounds weird.
It harkens back to the thing that I said where in America, we only got to up to when the Ginyu Force arrives. Funimation had that, or Cartoon Network had the show up to that point for like somewhere between 9 months and a year and a half. That's what they had. In that period of time, they either workshopped the voices or forgot what the fuck they were doing. It's one of the two. So they're on King Kai's planet. They'll show off their poses. I don't remember which one says it. One of the Ginyu Force says, the captain always says, I'm just doing Jace's voice because it's fun. The captain always says, when we're on a new planet, we should test your powers because the climate might affect your ability to fight. So they just start blowing up King Kai's furniture.
Rikum does breath blast attack. And I don't really have anything else to say about that. I think the name speaks for itself.
Yeah, me neither.
It does a breath blast.
And Goldo throws a tree into King Kai's house and gets a standing ovation from the rest of the Ginyu Force.
Yep.
They're all really supportive of each other.
They are. They're a good team. They always have been. They go bowling together. The only thing I don't like about this is it's a really fucking cool opportunity to see how powerful King Kai is. Because he doesn't seem that worried.
And Raccoon gets in King Kai's face. And King Kai says, I think you should get off my planet.
Yeah, exactly. I want it just once. I love it when comedic characters show that they're actually capable.
Yes.
It happens a couple times with Master Roshi, and I'm a big fan of that.
Right.
But it would be really cool to see it with like Bulma and King Kai and et cetera, et cetera.
But this is the Goku and Frieza fight show, though.
I know. So it cuts back to that. And I really do enjoy that this entire plan hinges on Frieza not looking up. And apparently Goku's been standing there in the Spirit Bomb pose for a while and saying nothing because Frieza's like starting to take it as an insult that he's been doing it for so long.
At this point, Frieza then starts kicking and punching Goku to where Goku you think is done. or maybe lost the spirit bomb, but didn't. So the Goku puts their hands up again, and it's fine, keeps channeling. And Frieza gets like annoyed, but not annoyed enough that they keep attacking Goku. They just get annoyed.
I mean, wouldn't you?
I mean, yeah, thinking from Frieza's perspective, being this kind of cat and mouse type character that they are, yeah, it would be annoying because they're just a bully now and they're not getting anything out of their target.
Yeah. Frieza does eventually blast Goku. Pretty standard practice by now, but it was really cool to see Goku like literally skidding across the water, skipping like a stone across the water on Namek, which was fun.
That was really cool. And we do cut to the kids after that blast. Piccolo tells them, we need to surrender our powers to Goku, which... How did you not do that before? If you could always do that, why did you just do that?
You've literally been looking at the spirit bomb for 15 minutes, guys.
You've also been watching this fight play out for the last however long. And you've
give them your power before it comes to this.
Yeah. Hello. But anyway, so they raise out their arms and they give most of their power. I think one of them says, we better not give him all. Give him all of our power.
Whatever.
Because it might be too much.
Oh, Frieza sees the spirit bomb reflected in the water, which was actually kind of clever.
Yes, that was cool.
Other than the fact that he could have seen it literally at any point by looking up. But it was a cool way to do the reveal.
But then Frieza doesn't know that it's an attack. It is like, oh, you've been creating a distraction for me. So they just think it's like this weird orb thing. Frieza's smart enough to know that Saiyans can create this ball of energy and turn into a great ape. So
interesting.
Why didn't Frieza
he assume that?
Yeah. Oh, you're trying to turn into the Uzuru, but you have no tail. Haha, you're dumb, you monkey.
Oh, that would have been a really good line. Damn, that because it makes Frieza clever, but not so clever that he spoils the plan.
Yeah, exactly.
It plays with his ego, his past knowledge with the Saiyans.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen. And then Piccolo kicks him in the face.
Yeah, sucker kicks Frieza.
Which is really cool.
It's really good.
Piccolo finally gets to do something and actually gets a good kick on Frieza. Which you would think with how, and I hope you can hear the quotey fingers I'm creating here, powerful Frieza is now, wouldn't his foot just have stopped on Frieza's cheek?
No, haven't we established that you need to like focus?
Envelop
like even the most
yourself.
powerful person in the world can be sucker punched.
That's true.
If they're not expecting it.
It was a satisfying kick though.
It was really
satisfying kick. Yeah. And it was animated really well to where it felt strong. There are some hits in this show that you can feel.
Yeah, you can like see the manga page coming right off the screen. Yeah, this was one of those moments.
This, was absolutely one of them. And Frieza's response to this, I wrote down because it's one of those lines that you're like, they went with that? Piccolo explains to Goku, look, I could probably only hold him off for just a bit. I realize that you're trying to charge the spirit bomb. I'm going to do my best, but it's Frieza and I'm Piccolo, so I'm dead.
That's cool.
It is. This is a sacrifice moment, which, because Piccolo's just so used to doing that now. Frieza says, I spy with my little
Oh my God, yeah.
one pitiable Namek that got away.
I didn't even bother writing it down because I hated it so much.
Why that one?
Why that?
If Frieza was a giant monster, it would have made more sense.
Yeah. King Kai sixth the recap squad on the Ginyu Force.
Oh, that's right. Yes. So King
Tien
Kai
and Yamcha.
is like, okay, I'll show you how to get off my planet, Ginyu Force. Get him, guys.
Yep. End of episode. Episode 94. The English title is Power of the Spirit. The Japanese title is The Incredible Destructive Force of the Genki Dama. Who will survive?
My episode title is Round 8. Goku versus Frieza's instinct to play with their food, part 2.
This is the first time that it's really mentioned that Frieza sliced the planet in half since the episode where it actually happened, but there's a nice bit of continuity here with the establishing shots. You can see the result of his attack in the background. Step 1 of the planet being destroyed.
Yes. Spoilers.
I mean, Gohan tries to join in the fight, but he's stopped once again. This happens a lot in these few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Piccolo versus Frieza. It's literally the final battle with Nail all over again.
That is exactly what it is.
Piccolo is trying to buy time.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, the parallel there, but that's exactly what it is. You're totally right.
And then it cuts to King Kai's planet, where we get an epic continuation of the cliffhanger we were left with last time.
It's, in my opinion, some of the best feeling of a fight.
Yeah, it's a really good Dragon Ball Z fight. Like, it's fun.
It's a good way to put it. Yeah.
It's concise. and there's a lot of references to moves that you've seen before. There's a lot of continuity, and it's characters that you haven't seen in this saga so far fighting versus characters that you have seen fighting. Like, it's a cool sort of crossover kind of thing. It
is. Yeah, it'd be like if Nappa showed up and started fighting Zarbon.
Exactly, yeah. It's like just kind of cool to see the two separate characters together.
And it's more of an equal fight.
I agree. Ginyu Force, by and large, was stomped.
And before that was doing the stomping. All of these fights that we've seen are just one person annihilating somebody else.
Yeah, and then the other side gets more powerful and then does the same, but opposite,
Yes, it's a freaking teeter-totter where it's just a bowling ball that rolls from one side to the other.
Yeah, but this doesn't matter because it's a side story, so they can make it more of an even match without disappointing anybody or without ruining the stakes, and it doesn't have to go on forever.
These Z fighters are rightfully scared of fighting the Ginyu Force because they know that those were the guys that beat Vegeta. And the Ginyu Force comes at them and starts attacking them, and they're doing some dodges and they're blocking. And I think somebody gets hit, maybe Tien gets hit, and is like, "Oh, you guys actually kind of suck," and starts putting up a real fight.
Like, you get to see the payoff to their training on King Kai's planet.
Yeah. Which for the past 5 episodes has consisted of standing.
Yep, exactly.
It's still training in times whatever gravity.
Times 10. Cool things that I want to mention. Goldo does a weird spinny thing with his side eyes. Did you see that?
Oh my God. Yes. When they're standing there, I think Chaozu says, "They look weird." And Goldo Goldo has 4 eyes, 2 on the side, kind of like a giant fish.
Yep. Or frog. Yeah.
Yeah. And just like spins the eyes around like tops.
It's weird. It's so weird.
Odd. And it freaks out Chaozu, which it should. It freaked me out.
It should. It freaked me out too. Birder and Jace get to do their hurricane attack again. Their combined red and blue attack that they used way back when.
The purple hurricane.
Yeah, and then Tien gets to finally put multiform to good use. We haven't seen multiform in a really long time, and it actually kind of pays off here. It's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
It cuts back to Namek, where Goku is holding up the spirit bomb. There's a really cool like close-up shot of his arm, and you can see like sweat pouring down.
Yeah.
As he's trying to hold it in place, which is pretty cool.
Piccolo gets knocked the fuck down at the end of this little bout, and Frieza is about to murder them when Frieza's hit by a blast from the children, Krillin and Gohan.
I actually thought this was a cut back to the fight on King Kai's planet, like a continuation of Birder and Jace's attack or something, but it was Gohan and Krillin.
How cool would that have been if they just intercut the 2 different fights?
The 2 fights at the same time. But either way, I mean, it still got me. Like I was like, oh wow, I was still surprised. So it was kind of cool.
Frieza gets hit with this blast, and at this point is like, okay, I'm done screwing around.
He's so mad that he fists. He crushes his own hand into a fist, and it starts to bleed.
That's right.
That's how mad he is.
So Frieza then is saying something like, "Fine, then I'll just destroy you and this whole planet," and raises a finger and does this move called the Death Ball, which is one of the coolest looking moves, in my opinion, that they have on this show. Mm-hmm. I just really like the aesthetic of this move. It's this black ball of energy, kind of like a spirit ball, but it's smaller around Frieza's finger, and there's purple sparks emanating all around it, and it just the color there, it's real nice.
Do you want to know what I call this move?
Oh, what?
The Harlem Globetrotter, because he's spinning the ball on his finger.
Frieza is floating upwards, charging this demon ball of death, and they float right up next to the spirit bomb, like just right next to the spirit bomb, because they can't sense energy. Mm-hmm. And apparently they also can't see light because it's creating this aura of light, and you can see
very visible.
Yes, Frieza becomes illuminated the closer they get to it, so they can see that. I think they get it right up there. That's when Goku's like, "Now!" and thrusts his arms down towards the ground, and the spirit bomb slowly descends upon Frieza.
It's not that it's slow, it's that it's so big it seems slow.
Yes, that's right. Like Godzilla.
Exactly. And
their death orb that they create, Frieza's epic evil attack, just gets swallowed by this gigantic blue presence that descends upon Frieza, and Frieza turns around and puts their hands out to try and hold the blast back, just screaming, "This is awful. Oh no, I can't end like this." And
do you want to know what my note is for this part? My note is, this is going to be one of those times where he's fine after the smoke blast clears, right? I mean, the blast was visible from space and blew everyone else away, including Bulma and Goku, and turned the whole show black and white, but I'm guessing Frieza's going to be fine.
That's it. Spoiled, but really, that's it. That's exactly all that happens.
That's my note, and then it cuts to King Kai's planet, and King Kai's like, Frieza's been defeated at last. He actually says that.
Even without future knowledge, I knew Frieza wasn't dead, just based on how long it took them to kill Vegeta when Vegeta was on Earth.
Yeah.
And after the spirit bomb hit Vegeta, I knew Frieza wasn't dead. There was no way. It was just like the spirit bomb is the ticket to get you on the final boss mode train.
Yeah, you just boarded the roller coaster.
That's it. Yes, that's exactly it. The safety harness locking itself in place over you.
And that's sort of where the episode ends. It's a really kind of a weird ending. It doesn't feel quite complete. Episode 95. English title is Transformed at Last. Japanese title is Transformed at Last. Son Goku, the legendary Super Saiyan. I wonder what happens in this episode.
My episode title is Round 9. Goku becomes a cultural icon.
Maybe the most accurate episode title that you've had in this saga.
I wrote that not even as a joke, because this is the episode.
It's kind of brilliant.
If you watch any episode of Dragon Ball Z, watch the snake girl with the revolver, but
don't watch that episode.
This one, this is potentially the most important episode of this show.
Well, and like the most quoted and the most clipped and the most everything, like the most seen.
We doing this podcast have been climbing a very large hill, and we just got to a milestone point.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, this 100% is a milestone. It is weird to me that there's still 12 episodes left in the saga, and we're at this point. It feels a little anticlimactic in that sense, but I don't know that I've ever seen this episode before. But I knew enough about it, and I played enough of the games, and I've heard like the weird ass techno remixes and anime music videos, you know, that I feel like I've already seen it. But there was a lot in here that I hadn't seen before, so I feel like this was my first time.
Yeah, watching the show from beginning to this point, I teared up as a fan of the show.
Really impactful.
Yeah, because it was like experiencing history in a certain kind of way, because the show has affected me as a human being, as who I am as a person.
That's why we're doing this.
Oh, yeah.
The episode starts very weirdly. It does open with a really cool shot of the crater of the spirit bomb. It landed like dead center in the middle of Namek's ocean, and water's pouring into this massive crater, and there's a rainbow even. There's a fun exchange between Gohan and Krillin where Gohan says, "You think that's the end of Frieza?" And then Krillin just says, "I hope so." And that's the end of the conversation, but I just really like it. He's not convinced at all. At first there's a question of where's Goku? Did he die? What's up?
We can't sense his energy. Where's Goku? Where's Piccolo? Yeah. Doesn't Krillin say, if you just focus, because you're not focusing, Gohan, you need to focus?
I think so. I'm pretty sure I remember that line. And then I think Gohan senses something, and up from the water comes Piccolo, and he's pulling Goku. And it's so cool considering their relationship and where they've come from. It's a really cool thing that Piccolo's the one saving Goku.
Yes. Yeah. Especially because Piccolo's always taken the goddamn hit for everyone.
Yeah.
Having Piccolo fill that role again, but after the big bad guy is
defeated.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like every time that Piccolo's been doing on the side of good, in his inner monologue, he always says like, "I'm going to take out Goku after this is all over." Like, he's still kind of a bad guy. This is the first time that we've really, really seen him, aside from Gohan, who, he developed a relationship with, done something altruistic. Didn't they do this fake happy ending thing at the end of the last saga too?
They did. They did a fake happy ending thing where, we did it, and then Vegeta's body falls to the ground.
Right. Yeah, that's right. So this is kind of that. Although I have to wonder if watching this for the first time ever, knowing nothing about the show, would you think that it was really over? Because it goes on for a lot longer than you might expect.
I imagine you would suspect that things were not okay, but you would probably revel in the moment of victory, like, oh, finally they did it. And especially after they start making plans for like what they need to do next. We should go to the spaceship.
Exactly. Like it's over. They try to sell this hard. Like the group's all together, they're laughing, they're happy, they're trying to figure out what to do next.
Yep.
It's like it's done.
And then we cut to the Ginyu Force fight.
Yeah, we do.
And the Ginyu Force is just getting absolutely handed by the Z fighters on King Kai's planet.
Mm-hmm.
Just destroyed. Raccoon gets knocked off the planet, falls all the way down to hell.
Yeah.
Into the pond of blood.
The bloody pond.
The bloody pond.
Yamcha knocks Rikum in. Tien knocks Berter and Jason. They all land in the bloody pool.
Yeah.
That we've seen before.
Oh my God. So when Raccoon first lands, stands up in the blood and starts to try to like do poses in the blood, but is sinking in the blood while they're doing
It's really
poses.
weird. It's really weird. And then a weirdly giddy, smiling Chaozu blasts Goldo and knocks him down into hell as well. And it's kind of creepy.
Chaozu is just creepy in general.
Yeah. And then the Ginyu Force meets our favorite demons
That's
from
right.
last
Hans
saga.
and Franz, what are their names?
They introduce themselves, and that's kind of it. They try to get out, and then they bang their heads on the cloud, the top cloud.
That's right.
Goku
Yeah, they
hit,
can't get through.
and they fall back down in the blood pond. So they're stuck in hell now. King Kai reveals that
That's right. Here's the Gohan's monkey tail.
The monkey tail. He reveals that he brought the Ginyu Force to King Kai's planet on purpose to test the training of the Z fighters of Tien and Yamcha and Chaozu to make sure that their training was paying off, which is fine, but also like, remember when King Kai was freaking out that the Ginyu Force were there and like
this
telling him not to fight? This
force
unbelievable
of murderous killers.
Do you think he could have just called in Gregory or something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's got to be a better way.
My note here is I think King Kai might be an asshole.
Actually, you know what? Fair. That I will take that as an explanation. He's just a little bit of an asshole.
What else has he done? Really? Okay, what does his training consist of? Come to my planet, do chores, punch the air.
Well,
punch
but it
my
works
friends.
though. It actually works. And so he might be training him in like a way that just makes himself laugh, but it's still effective.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you cannot argue with the results. That doesn't make him not an asshole.
Oh, I'm not saying that. I'm actually kind of fine with that. And deservedly so, because they put him through shit. So he dishes it out just as well as he gets, in my opinion. Then it cuts back to Namek.
They're making plans.
Yes, they somebody has a revelation and is like, oh no, we got to go get Bulma. And Goku's like, oh, for a second I thought you saw Frieza again. Which is excellent foreshadowing.
And everybody laughs.
And everybody laughs. It's literally half of an episode before Frieza shows back up. Spoilers, because that's the next thing that happens. I forget if he comes out of the water or if he unburies himself.
Is just floating. It's even worse.
Okay. Because I was like, where does he? How? Okay, he's just there again. But he shows up. He's just there. And half of his tail is gone. I cannot remember if it was there before
it was
he died. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, he regrew the tail, and I couldn't remember if like he had lost another chunk of it somewhere along the way. But I'm pretty sure this is the first time that he just shows up and part of his tail is gone again. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah,
but that's what happens.
Maybe that's how he escaped. It's like a lizard. Like, have you ever tried to catch a lizard?
I do know the concept behind it.
Yeah, they detach their tails when you snag them.
Yeah.
So Frieza, they are bloodied. In D&D terms, I guess. And they point their finger and do the piercing death beam, the purple syringe needle attack.
That's one of my favorites.
Yes, it goes right at Goku, and Piccolo does what he does best and takes the hit.
He jumps in front of it, and Piccolo dies again.
Piccolo just dies, and they're like, oh no, and Goku, I keep calling him Gohu. I've done that like 80 times in the recording, and so I think I'm just going to start calling him Gohu. Goku turns around and is imploring Frieza, please, no, Frieza, don't. And Frieza kind of smirks, but more like angry than anything else, points their finger at, and I'll just hand this off to you because it's your man.
It was a punch in the gut for sure. He just points at Krillin and raises him up using telekinesis and just like crushes him, like explodes. And Krillin is yelling the entire time.
And explodes.
And
they just explode.
Yeah, like he yells out for Goku and just done. Like
it's a crazy
smithereens.
Death. Yeah,
it hurts because it's it's torturous, and Krillin is the one character besides Gohan that hasn't died yet, but he's also been in the show since Dragon Ball, so it's like
that's right.
It hurts a little bit more because despite how Dragon Ball Z plays with death, there are times where it feels more impactful, and this was definitely one of them.
This was on the level of Bulma mourning Yamcha's death.
Yeah, like it was a real moment for sure.
Top 5 realist Dragon Ball Z moments.
And it's one of my favorite deaths in the show because we finally arrived.
We've finally arrived at the station.
Yeah, Goku gets sincerely pissed, maybe angrier than we've ever seen him for, and he turns back towards Frieza, says, you killed Krillin. I would quote it directly, but it's been quoted
so many times.
A billion times in a billion different ways.
Yes. And Goku is just shuddering in pure rage. And it sounds like for the first time in 30 episodes, Schemmel showed up to work, had his coffee that morning, went in the booth, put on the headphones.
I think he gets it.
Yeah.
It's not a game anymore to Goku. And I think that having watched the previous 15 episodes, you might make that mistake where it just this fight has no stake. Like, there's no point in watching this because nothing ever changes, nothing ever happens, nobody cares. Goku's always either one step ahead or like, yeah, I was just holding back too. And Frieza does the same thing, and so it doesn't feel real. And then this happens, and it's like, okay, Goku finally gets a moment to like show that he cares about his friends.
And the title of the episode occurs.
Yeah.
Finally, after having the name dropped 9,000
so many times. Way too many times. Goku begins his transformation into Super Saiyan. And it's a sequence that like still holds up. It's awesome, actually.
This was the when I teared up thing.
His hair turns gold. His eyes turn blue. It's Super Saiyan Goku. My favorite part about Goku's transformation and Sean Schemmel's performance is that every time Goku undergoes a transformation, spoilers, there's going to be more, is his mannerisms change.
Yes.
Somehow.
Vocal mannerisms.
He plays the character just a little bit different. And Super Saiyan Goku's the first time we really got to see this. And Goku just gets super like serious, like focused, like he's holding something heavy on his shoulders, like an immense power, legitimately. Then they cut to Bulma at the worst possible moment. Like right after that, it just shows Bulma for a little second.
It's the last thing that we see in the most perfect episode of the show. It cuts to Bulma and Ginyu the Frog, and Bulma's just witnessing from a distance the glow from Goku's
it's a cool shot.
Released power. Yes. The only phrase that is uttered there is Ginyu saying, "Ribbit." And this episode is not just a perfectly iconic episode for the show. It's a perfect analogy for us watching the show and talking about it, because it has everything that we love about this show and everything that we hate about it in the exact same moment.
Yeah.
The exact same, like, 5-minute sequence.
Yeah. For once, the show ends on a really good cliffhanger. Will Goku be able to defeat Frieza in his new form? Will he be able to avenge the deaths of his best friend and past mortal enemy? Will King Kai come up with some other awkward training plan for everybody? And how the hell is Bulma going to get off planet Namek? We'll find out next time on Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z. Thanks for listening to Eric Hates Dragon Ball Z. He may hate the show, but he loves that you're listening. And if you feel like talking to us, getting some feedback in, tell us what you think of the show, either Dragon Ball Z or this podcast, feel free to email us at mail, M-A-I-L, at ehdbz.com.
Hang on, I have to ask, are you reading from a script this time?
No.
Oh, you just gotta say, thank you for listening to Eric Hates, right? It was a little scripty. I know you're doing a thing, but I was just doing
funny. A bit.
It was good. I liked it.
Thank you. We're on Twitter using the handle using the handle at Eric Hates DBZ. You can get in touch with us on Twitter. Find this and other podcasts made by the Rocktopus Network of Podcasts on Spotify, iTunes, and whatever other programs you use to listen to podcasts. We also make Tales of Nowhere, genre-bending tabletop RPG podcast. That's a lot of fun. It's got comedy, it's got heart, it's got role-playing, different dimensions, and we just finished our first season. So in the break between now and season 2, when that goes up in January, it's the perfect time to catch up on all the crazy adventures that those 4 characters get into.
Holy shit, you were just nailing this outro, man. Holy shit.
What do you got, John?
I write the music. Find me on SoundCloud. SoundCloud.com/bird7. That's me. Okay,
I did it. I think that about covers it. Thanks for joining us for these 5 episodes. They sure were a hoot. And I'm glad we got the opportunity to cover such an iconic one. It's been crazy going through the first 95 episodes of Dragon Ball Z.
It has been.
Yeah.
I would do it again, honestly. After this point, if you had asked me last episode, would I do this again? I would have had a lot of time to think about it. I would have needed a lot of time to think about it. After this episode, yeah, I would do this all again.
Dude, it's like getting to 95 is the cherry on top. It's the finish line,
Or is it just receiving the dessert after waiting and we're about to actually get to open it and enjoy it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is the orange slice at the halftime of a soccer game. Like, there's still a lot to come, but this is like a really good checkpoint.
Maybe I don't know enough about soccer. Whatever. We'll just move on. I'm not going to ask.
Did you play sports when you were a kid?
Yeah, I was forced into soccer 7th and 8th grade. And
didn't you do like orange slices and snacks at halftime or after the game?
No.
Oh.
Halftime is when my dad would yell at me for not making any goals.
Well, I mean, mine too, but like that was the shitty part. And then the fun part was getting the snack.
I didn't even get the snack. Maybe that's why I'm so angry all the time. I didn't get the orange. In a halftime of a soccer. There's no way they do that for real, right?
Yes, there is. Paul Rudd makes a joke in it in Captain America Civil War.
Really?
After he turns into Giant Man, it falls on the floor and he takes off his mask, the fight's over. The first thing he says is, did anybody bring any orange slices?
Seriously?
Yeah.
This is a real thing?
Yeah.
You were fucking blowing my mind right now. I don't know enough about soccer. Oh my God. Okay.
That's one of the most important parts. Thanks for all the fans for making this podcast possible. We really wouldn't be here doing this if it wasn't for Ginyu. See you next time, everybody.
For Ginyu.
Just you. That's the pun.
But you didn't add anything to the Gin part. We love entertain Ginyu.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Something like that.
We really like Ginyu. Listen to this
Fuck
podcast.
It, whatever, man. That's good. It's good. It's good.